The blatantly weighted, heinous ways of the Daily Mail fail daily in persuading the nation of their fallacious tales and the predacious nature of the 80-year stale views they advocate, because Daily Mail readers are blind to the truth, and you are their braille, the holy grail of lowly dopey males who only make 30k from the JSA, who just want to roll through days in a smoky haze, antisocial and lonely, knowing no female on a first-name basis, and mostly because they have no mates, watching shitty soaps all day, wanting a soapbox to groan away with their cronies and channel their hate into a fear simultaneously exaggerated and fake. They also have allies in the housewives whose only cerebral exercise is reading the size of the Primark dresses they buy. Guess I could say they're not pilots, because it's plain to my eyes that shit won't fly. Daily Mail are the archetypal British bad guy trying to hide under the guise of a wise righteous type of paper whose ideals reside high in the skies. They baptize you with their high-pitched bigoted whine. They're not writers, they're spies, more interested in Oscars than Oscar Wilde, their own dollars than the American dollar's dodgy ties, more invested in money and lies than the country's own life. They themselves are the crime that needs to be sensationalized. So watch as I drop your own loaded form of discourse on you like the bombs dropped abroad in the wars you support, which by all means I'm sure we can't afford. Your stories are so boring, be yawning and snoring if you didn't make them a platform for your bigoted outpourings. Ideological sorcery is your staple food source, along with the curry sauce with which you drench the chips you bought from a foreigner's store. Iraq is not Mordor. We can't just pull together some resources and walk in. These peoples are your kin, regardless of your uproaring or how you deny it, lie, and keep porking. Stop imploring the stalling of independent thought from forming. You are the dark side in this modern-day Star Wars, how you force people into conforming to your ill-informed onslaught of warnings. You shouldn't be exploring stories about the stars nor the enormous boobs on Jordan. Instead, maybe try reporting on war-torn Jordan. How you perform this brainwashing short of waterboarding I'll never be sure, but because you are clearly snorting narcotics, no one could be so neurotic, quixotic, nor so hypocritically unpatriotic as you are in your despotic frolic. If you had the right to kill, you'd probably kill James Bond. And you've blurred the lines of what is morally wrong by robbing thick people of a non-autonomous reason. You obviously see foreigners as heathens, homosexuals as demons, and nationalist politicians as Jesus. Through your barely legal and ominous modern popular treason, you've got a moral amnesia. You've got the populace dreaming of a providence free of freedom, and a sovereign greedy for providence unimpeded. Don't let my prophecies go unheeded. We'll all pay dearly for this freedom of monotonous speech, because bottomless conscious evil is a consequence of their deep-seated materialist greed. And they're at it with their terror tactics, feral and fanatic in their experimental dramatics. This is a rebel attack on the very fact that mental gymnastics are necessary antics if you want to get on their level of embezzled semantics, because they stroll around like they invented writing, like they're Phoenician, writing whatever they please, whatever floats their boat, like they're Venetians, greedily feeding their legions. With speech excretion, I hope you contract lesions. More interested in shit such as nips, lips, bitches, strips, slips, tits, strippers, celebrity marriages. You're more racist than Nigel Farage's. Skin's not tight, no one gives a shit if you've got cellulite, but you've got copies to sell tonight, so you sell. To sell, you light a fire inside the hearts and minds of desperate housewives trying to satisfy the high-heeled, long-themed female stereotype. And must we feign complacency for the Daily Mail's daydream? No, we've taken too much to just sit and discuss fashion, celebs, gossip, and whatever the fuck they feed us in nuts. This stuff then gets discussed after being rushed through the Daily Mail's guts. Women's busts, booze, money, and cars juxtaposed for consumption. This combination is modern-day gold dust, designed to appeal to our lust for bitches to fuck and the collective must for more powers, riches, and money that we have in abundance compared to those in the slums. All designed to distract us from the tact without which we act and interact with other countries, because the financial elite just attack, whether it be with violent strikes like we did in Iraq, financial plight such as that derived by enterprises like Nike, rising the third financial right with shitty right-wing media on their side, despite not having right on their side. But does that get any media attention? No. Instead, we just get fed a lot of BS that just undercuts our mental autonomy, blunts originality, and encourages us to be blind to just how corrupt the government can be. Freedom, as we know it, is a social construct designed to justify the unjust in the name of a few bucks, but to stop this being discussed, we need the populace nonplussed, in ignorance of the sinister interests of belligerent politicians whose very existence is reminiscent of Icarus flying too close to the sun. Is it just our luck that we happen to have chosen the one to spend thousands of people over the oceans with guns to a war we still haven't won, despite all the deaths, explosions, and blood? Or was it inevitable that the war was deemed equitable by objectionable politicians with vested interest in stocks and their wealth? But of course that's unmentionable, so they sell us bullshit in the newspapers and through campaigners drinking champagne claiming the war is veritably ethical. Fuck the Daily Mail. Because they are the epitome of a tabloid. They're just a decoy steel alloy android sent from a belt of asteroids, hell-bent to annoy us with disjointed viewpoints, keeping the hoi polloi uneducated and thus unemployed, keeping the boys getting destroyed, toiling in the war to which they're deployed for the coin and the oil. No shit, Sherlock, no Conan Doyle.